All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive, and we're really getting into the thick of things today, folks.
Yeah, we are.
We are going deep on Donald Trump's recent speech.
Yeah.
It wasn't a State of the Union address
Right.
officially,
No.
but it kind of felt like one.
Oh, yeah. It had all the pomp and circumstance.
All the players were there.
Everyone was watching.
It was a huge deal, and we're going to unpack it all today.
And this one was interesting for a lot of reasons, right? I mean,
yeah.
first off, it was his first major address since he got back into the Oval Office.
Right.
Second, the guy shattered records for the longest speech like this, so length is definitely something we'll talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that for sure.
But the thing that really struck me was the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It felt like a victory lap almost.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Like, I'm back and we're winning.
Yeah.
That kind of energy, you know?
Totally. And he really hammered that home right from the start.
Absolutely.
With that America's backlined.
3 words. Huge statement.
So much packed into that.
Right. And it wasn't just a throwaway line either. He wove that theme throughout the whole speech,
Yeah, he did.
tying it to everything, the economy, national security, even like personal stories he told. It was like
Right.
he was trying to rewrite the narrative of the past few years, present this image of America strong and resurgent. And it's all because he's back.
Interesting. So you think that was a deliberate strategy?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely.
Like it wasn't just him riffing.
No, this was carefully crafted to appeal to a certain audience.
And who do you think that audience was?
Well, I think on the surface, it's aimed at his base, obviously. The people who already support him.
Right.
It's reassuring them, telling them they were right all along.
Yeah.
But I think he's also trying to reach beyond that core group, to people who might be disillusioned
Okay.
with the direction of the country, people who are looking for that strong leader figure.
Yeah.
And he's presenting himself as the answer.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there, but before we get too far into the weeds, let's talk about the length of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Over 90 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, I love a good speech as much as the next person, but even I started to get a little restless.
It's a long time to hold anyone's attention these days.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think going that long was a good move?
It's a tough one to call. On one hand, it allowed him to cover a lot of ground.
Right.
He touched on everything: infrastructure, immigration, trade, you name it.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
But on the other hand, people's attention spans are not what they used to be.
No,
You risk losing people if you go on for too long. So it's a gamble for sure.
it is. Yeah, it's a gamble. And speaking of gambles, he definitely took some risks with the tone of this speech.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there were some moments that were incredibly divisive.
Right.
Like when Representative Al Green got escorted out,
Oh, yeah.
and then the Democrats with their silent protest signs.
Mm.
I mean, the tension in that room.
Oh, palpable.
Yeah, you could cut it with a knife.
And, those moments really highlight the polarization we're seeing in politics right now. It's a trend that's been building for years, and the speech seemed to crystallize it.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, where do we go from here if the two sides can't even find common ground?
Right. Like, how do you even have a conversation when
Well,
you're starting out from such different places?
Yeah. And then there were the moments that felt very, very personal, like his tribute to the victims of crimes, particularly Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungaray.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly moving.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. And then he immediately pivoted to announcing the arrest of the suspected terrorist behind the attack at Abbey Gate.
Juxtaposing those two stories, particularly the way he framed them,
Yeah.
it sends a clear message about security and who he sees as the threats.
Right.
And it's a classic way to appeal to people's fears and anxieties.
Yeah. Play on those emotions.
Right. And it definitely resonated with a segment of the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, we can't forget about 13-year-old DJ Daniel,
Oh.
the cancer survivor who got sworn in as an honorary Secret Service agent.
I mean, who wasn't tearing up at that point? Come on.
I know, I had something in my eye.
Pure storytelling genius.
Yeah.
You're not just listening to policy points anymore, you're connecting with real people, feeling their hopes and struggles.
Right.
It's a way to humanize the message, make it stick with people.
Totally. Yeah. It was a really effective moment. But okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the America's Back theme,
Mm-hmm.
the length, the divisive moments, the emotional appeals. If you had to boil it all down to one big takeaway, what would it be?
The audacity of the vision he's laying out. I mean, he's not just talking about policy tweaks here.
Yeah.
He's painting a picture of a transformed America.
Yeah.
And he's betting that enough people will buy into that vision to make it a reality.
Wow.
Whether he succeeds or not, the impact of this speech will be felt for a long time to come.
I think you're right about that. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Really appreciate your insights on this one.
Glad to be here.
And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into, well, whatever's making headlines next.
Yeah, who knows what that'll be.
That's the fun of it, right?
It is until next time.
See ya.